Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to Torment Tides of Numenera Beta. Last time, our new companion Tiber, the gentleman in orange and pink here, convinced us to free Riss, who was being executed for a crime that Tiber claims he didn't commit. Upon freeing Riss, it seems that there may be more going on than we were made aware of. So let's find out what the deal is. Calm down, both of you. Riss, tell it from the beginning. Riss spits, then wipes his lips. There isn't much to tell. Captain Silvertongue here talked me into a dirty job, then disappeared like an abacos and left me holding the bag when it all went sour.
My dear boy, says Tiber, can you blame me for running when I had a chance? You would have done the same, and besides, if I hadn't, we would have both been on that gibbet, and no one to free either of us.
Riss stabs a finger in Tiber's face. You only wanted to free me because you knew you'd be the next on the block when the Devourer ate me. Okay. So, what was the job? I'm gonna ask too about whether they're actually guilty, if it lets me. What Tiber told me was we were transporting black market booze to Marajolios. What he didn't tell me was he'd hidden state secrets in one of the bottles using some liquid Numenera trick, which turned a slap on the wrist crime into a damned death sentence.
I didn't know anything about the secrets, dear boy. I promise you. The seller must have slipped them in there. It wasn't me.
Riss glares at Tiber from under lowered brows. That's as may be, but you certainly seem to know when the levies were going to come calling. He looks at you. The council somehow got wind of the deal and came after us. Funny how I was the only one home when they knocked on the door. So... I don't know if Tiber is actually lying. I want to assume he's not. But... yeah, I guess you should make amends. Well, so the Devourer would have found you guilty. Tiber, is this true?
As far as it goes, he would have learned about me if he had eaten Riss, and I did manage to escape the levies when they showed up looking for us, but to suggest that self-preservation was behind either of those things couldn't be further from the truth.
He puts a hand to his heart.
Truly, Riss, I escaped the levies and saved you from the Devourer of wrongs because I love you and did not want to see you die. You must believe me.
Must I? Okay, yeah. Either way, though, you are the one in charge, so you need to make amends with him. That's right, you pillock, snarls Riss, and you can start by giving me my share of the spoils.
Riss, you don't know what you're talking about. I never got paid, I promise you.
This isn't over, you self-serving bastard. Riss jabs a finger in Tiber's face. Hide behind your friend if you like, but he won't keep you safe forever. Well, I mean... you're dead, Tiber. Do you hear me? Dead. So, we've got an enemy there. That's not good. And we're still not sure whether Tiber's guilty or not. I mean... alright, whatever. Do you have anything else to say? So was it like Riss said, you only freed him so you wouldn't be implicated?
I'd be a liar if I said that wasn't part of it, he says, looking at his boots. But I really do care for the boy, and wouldn't wish him harm for all the world.
Do you think he'll make good on his threats? Should we be watching our backs?
I wouldn't worry about it, he says, chuckling. Riss doesn't have as many friends as he thinks he does. I was practically the only one.
Huh. I'm not going to say either one of these because I still don't know. Let's continue on. Let's see what Callisteg seems to think of this whole debacle. Yes, child. So, Why was the man being subjected to such a strange manner of execution? Whatever do you mean, dear? She gives you a strange look. Even one so newly born as you must see that the practice of sharing one's story is better for all involved. Secrets carry no currency in the afterlife, if there should happen to be one. Okay. So, what do you think about our companion? The man is made of tall tales. I fear we shall never truly know him, though his armor wounds him more than us. I suppose it does. So, tell me more about you. No new information here then. That's all I wanted. Okay, so we did that little side quest, it seems. Wonder at what point we can spend our experience. I don't think that you level up in this system. Can we look at our character sheet? We've got 180 XP. Yeah, we can just spend it on certain things. Select one of the following options to spend your experience points. You can select each option once per tier, except change focus, which can be changed at any time. Alright, so we're a slick jack right now. We still haven't got our focus thing there. We probably have to go to the Order of Truth to get that. Let's get extra effort. Increase maximum effort level by 1 so we can spend effort twice. Confirm. Did we spend our experience? 2 experience. Advance 180 experience. Oh, okay, so we spent the experience we had earned to do that. But now we have to edge things. And I guess tier is sort of level, so we have to get 180 and we can spend that to up our tier. Okay. Fair enough. Can we use our heal again? No, not yet. Okay. So, can we see the map? I'm guessing it's going to be blacked out. Yes. We need to go to the Order of Truth. Close? What's this thing? Chandu? There are people just everywhere here. Canadu. This large, bald, broad-shouldered man turns to face you. You freeze. It's not his dark cloak or his sledgehammer. It's that beneath his mustache and goatee, he is so ugly that he'd scare his own mother in a dark alley. Okay, that's quite humorous. If he gives you an abrupt nod, and you get the distinct impression that here stands a man who enjoys the boredom of standing guard in the company of his own thoughts. Nothing to see here until you pay Argento. So you're guarding the creature here. He says when it's clear you aren't moving on. With that, he returns his gaze to the distant sea. Alright, what's that thing in the cage? And another word that I am not going to be able to pronounce. A Tevaron, he says. Argento will tell you about it if that's what you want. So how did you capture the Tevaron? Ask Argento. He's the talker. I watch the beast. You're watching the sea though, aren't you? How does that cage hold it? I guess you're not going to tell me. I'm looking for someone who can repair a device. We don't know anyone like that. We aren't from around here. Alright, goodbye. I guess this is Argento. In front of you is a weary traveler whose grim visage is mostly obscured by a pointy hat. Upon closer inspection, the lines of his face indicate he has seen much and has many tales to tell. Okay. Oh, hello there, friend, he says. Here to see the Tevaron, my friend in the cage over there, or are you just looking to spend a word or two? Well, you have the look of a storyteller about you. Do I? He strokes his chin, clearly flattered. Well, I will confess to a certain easiness around the spoken word, but I have no talent for crafting fiction, friend. For me, it's the truth or silence. The ghost of a smile rises on his well-worn face. Fortunately, I have had a more fantastical life than most. Okay, well, I'm looking for someone who can repair a complicated device. It must be in desperate shape if you're patrolling the circus, talking to strangers, he said. You have a piece of the device? Might be that I can offer my opinion. Yeah. Well, I have this shard of crystal. He accepts the crystal shard with great care, turning it over and over in his cracked hands. In the silence, you catch a hint of wood smoke, and notice that his eyes have turned slate gray. Living crystal, he mutters at last. Seeking a greater whole. Still warm. Maybe alive. Maybe thinking. He hands the shard back to you with a touch of regret. Interesting piece of tech. But not one I know much about. Sorry, friend. Try asking around some more. So I was maybe sort of right when I said that we would need to use this crystal to repair the hole. It seems to be, from what he said, living crystal. Alright. Well, tell me about the nicked Tevaron. I'm not really sure if that's even close to correct pronunciation. He's far from mine, friend, Elgento says with a raspy chuckle, as you'll likely see if I get too close to his cage. He tips his hat at you. Go on, ask your questions. So what is it? A biomechanical union of stubborn curiosity and frothing malice, he says. Who made them? No one can say, but they cannot be trusted or befriended. Cross their paths or thwart their incomprehensible whims, and they'll kill you if they can. Wait, you call the creature a he. Is it male? Could be. Could be female, or genderless, or many-gendered. Who can say? I have our friend imprisoned, and I feel better about that fact if I don't call him it. Okay. So how did you capture it? I suppose you could blame luck, he says. Little early to call it good or bad, though. His eyes seek the sky as he begins his story. I was working on, well, call it a trap, in a valley through some nameless ruin. Kenadu was off hunting for dinner, and I work in a daze, always do when I'm concentrating. A smile flits across his face. Near sunset, the trap was still in pieces, and I heard Kenadu roaring my name. I turned just in time to see our guest bearing down on me. The creature's volley of molten energy crackled off the personal barrier I'd left active while building the trap, and I knew it couldn't hold. Then Kenadu leapt off the valley edge onto the Nick Tevaron's back, bashing it with his hammer. It shrieked, and then night fell, and the creature went still. I worked, a touch frantically I admit, to finish the trap. It hadn't been designed for our guest, but as you can see, he gestures at the creature, it worked. So it's solar powered then? So how did you get it into the city? A fair question, he says, casting a lazy glance back at the cage, but a longer answer, and not as interesting as I'd like. So let's just say that the trap is more, collapsible than it appears. Alright. So what are you planning on doing with it once you're done showing it off? We're likely to release it and run as if every kind of demon in the world is after us. We're not trappers, see? We're explorers. And we're only in this to save up some coin for a journey across a long patch of ground. He rubs the back of his neck. Not that our motives make much difference to our guest. He'd want to boil our skins once we let him go, and I can't say I blame him. Alright, well, anything else that we can glean from you that's useful? Do we want to see it up close? I guess maybe. It just depends on how much it costs. Your curiosity does you credit, friend. It will only cost you 100 sins. Never mind, I don't have that. Nowhere close. We'll be here, he says, and his knowing smile crinkles the skin around his eyes. If, you change your mind. Alright, goodbye. So, where again is the Order of Truth, Calisteg? Yeah, what do we think? I guess we can get... Yeah, what should we do next? Order of Truth. Alright, where is the Order of Truth? Okay, never mind. That's all I wanted to know. Let's move on. I seem to remember her saying it was to the north, maybe? Maybe up here? Let's go here to start with. We'll maybe investigate and talk to these other people in a bit. I would very much like to get my focus. And I think that we need to complete the beginning of the main quest here to do that. Mercenary. Okay, these are named people. Maybe one of them can give us directions? Sangolan, in the shade of a stall made from the finest material, stands a tall, thin, and exquisitely dressed older man. You have never seen a man more exquisitely dressed. The cut, well, that's not saying much. I've only been alive, for a day or so. The cut, color, and quality of his clothes are a symphony of harmonious coordination, while the expression of benevolent condescension he gives you seems as if it would be more at home on the face of a king than a seller of clothes. So this is the man that they said we could buy a badge from. Good afternoon, he says, bowing slightly. I am Haberdasher Sangolan. Welcome to Sangolan's Fittings. How may I be of service? Alright, so this is Government Square. I guess this is not where the Order of Truth is. We will talk to this gentleman later. Let's explore around a little bit. What is this? Looks like globes of some sort of liquid. Wait, what was your name? Ain, who knows? Okay. Wealthy townsperson. I'm assuming that what we're looking for will have a sign on it of some sort. What's that say? Oh, this is the Order of Truth. Okay. I did not realize it was in Government Square. Nanos. There's a levee. Well, let's go inside then. Kind of stumbled on that. Quite happy with that outcome. Please, Silberry, give me a chance. I've given you a chance to leave, and you've even failed at that. Who is this? Koro. He's a part of the Order? Why was he attacking us then? Is his name red because he's our enemy? Who should we talk to here? Can you tell us more? What should we do next? We are in the Order of Truth. I suggest you avail yourself of its resources. We may find information about that chamber you destroyed. Perhaps Salameri could aid us. Okay. Alright, that's all I wanted to know. So who to speak to. Snarf. Starf. Well, I know. Salameri, you recognize one of the parties in this one-sided argument. Yes, we do. Koro, the Starseeker you met in the reef. He studies his boots, silent and miserable. The other is a tall woman in finely cut robes, regarding the man with arch disdain. When I told you to retrieve the falling star, I wonder if you heard, "Return to me with empty hands and excuses," she sighs. I no longer need your services, Koro. Collect your things and go. So I guess she's not going to be helpful to us after all, since she actually wanted us. What? Salameri, I searched the reef for hours. Whatever fell was long gone by the time we got there. And that is why you are unsuited for this work. She massages her eyes. Honestly, I don't know what I expected. I saw promise in you, but also the flaws.
and I ignored them.
She spots you out of the corner of her eye and turns to you, framing a sharp rebuke at your intrusion. Her anger turns to stark amazement when she sees your face.
Adon.
No, wait a minute. Isn't Adon the name that the Nameless One gave himself in the original Planescape Torment? Because, I mean, he didn't remember his real name, but he called himself Adon or something similar like that.
I haven't seen you in 10 years. 10 years. I cannot begin to imagine what your excuse might be.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I am, not Adon. She blinks once, twice. A smile blooms. You're a cast-off, she murmurs, studying you from head to foot with an appraising and somewhat proprietary eye.
Remarkable.
This is rather like visiting a house you once owned and seeing new tenants through the windows. I've met members of your little family before, of course, trailing around in that shadow, looking for clues or trying to repair the damage. Her smile is genuine and somewhat sad. Her eyes linger on yours, as if looking for any flash of recognition. I can help you if you like, but I need something from you first. So maybe it wouldn't have actually been bad if we'd went with Koro. He made it sound like his master was going to tear us to pieces in an effort to discover things. Yeah, I'm not going to agree to anything without more information. Oh, she says, rolling her eyes. Reason, lovely. Well, think it over, she grins wolfishly, and tell me when you're ready to help. Let's talk about that favor you want. What exactly is it? Of course. She draws your attention to a map of the reef of fallen worlds on her workstation and taps a gilded ornate structure not far from the dome containing the resonance chamber. This is the Anachiok, I guess I'm going to go with Anachiok. This is the Anachiok Lazaret. It has been hopelessly sealed since the dawn of the Ninth World until, she smiles, I managed it in a week or two. It was quite simple once you figured out the trick. So this is the person that Callisteg said got in there, but she didn't believe. I've been slipping in and out at nights, investigating the technology within, taking notes, she frowns. Then, more recently, I discovered that the structure was sealed again. Okay. Do you think one of your colleagues is responsible? I doubt it, she says. First of all, I haven't told them. The Order has been trying to open the Lazaret for centuries, and I want it to myself for now. She rolls her eyes. Secondly, my colleagues are nosy, and somewhat competitive in a charmingly amateuristic fashion, but none of them have the stones for out-and-out treachery. I believe someone tramped inside with no regard for the dangers and managed to trigger a failsafe that resealed the structure. She flicks a strand of hair from her eyes. I need someone to reopen the Lazaret and, she waves a vague hand, handle whatever nonsense the trespassers have stirred up in their wake. All right, so why me? I know why not Koro. Simple. You are a cast-off. All of you were made to be useful in some way or another. All of you are, at minimum, competent. In short, you're better than any of the draft I have at hand. Besides, I can reopen the structure. The concern is what's waiting for me inside. She holds your gaze for a moment to make you understand. I want you to deal with whatever's gone wrong in there, so I can resume my work. Needless to say, I would also prefer the structure in an undamaged state as I left it. She smooths her robes. Well, there it is. Will you help? Sure. Excellent, she says briskly, but relief flashes across her face. She hands you a metallic stalk with flower-like ridges along its length and a mechanical eye at one end. Gained item mechanical eye. Is this going to make us more Numenera sick? Salamari. Simply head down to the Reef of Fallen Worlds. Brandish this at the door of the lazarette, and it should open before you. Good luck. Please, Salamari, Kuro says, edging him beside you. Give me another chance. I can handle this. Let him try, Salamari. Why not? He shoots you a mistrustful glance, but otherwise continues pretending you don't exist. She says, looking between the two of you. Salamari considers you both, then sorts through her work table, picking up another of the eyes. You're welcome to try, Kuro, she says. She hands the eye over, but holds onto it when he tries to take it. This is your last chance. If you come back empty-handed, you had better be dead as well. Trembling, Kuro pockets the eye and leaves, eyes downcast. Oh, I thought he was going to join up with us. That's why I suggested giving him a chance. I guess that's not the case. Fine, then. Salamari watches him go in size. He is going to fail, of course. It's what he does best. Well, tell me more about the lazarette. Oh, she says, her face a carefully composed mask. What is it? What is it anyway? I'm not quite ready to issue definitive answers on that topic, she says lightly. I suspect it was once a place of healing or quarantine for machine intelligences. Even if I'm wrong, this is the find of many, many lifetimes. Few remnants of the prior worlds are ever so intact. Alright, so what should I know about the interior? Is it dangerous? It wasn't, she said, but since I suspect someone or something is trapped inside, she shrugs slightly. Be careful, and do try to avoid breaking anything. Alright, let's talk about something else. Tell me a bit about the changing god. Good, she says. Curiosity about your origin is quite healthy. Her expression hardens. I will be happy to share what I know once you've completed that favor for me. Alright. Well, I'm trying to repair something called a resonance chamber. Ah, that contraption, she says. I'd be delighted to help, as I was before. But I'll need you to do that little favor for me first. So you repaired it before? That's interesting. If you seek assistance from the others in the Order, do be careful. I suspect one of them is an informant for the Mimovira. Too many of our finds have been pillaged by her thugs. So this is someone that we haven't heard of before, the Mimovira. Alright, who or what is the Mimovira? The simple definition would be a crime lord in bloom, but she is quite a bit more than that. In all ways that matter, she rules that tangled cesspit, and her spies are everywhere. Hold on, you said there's a spy in the Order? Almost certainly, she says, losing interest. But I let men worry about it. Spies aren't a problem if you never share your secrets. Alright, so what do you do here? I guess you're a researcher. I study the ruins and remnants of past worlds, she says. When I have time, of course. These days, the Order spends more of its time helping the city than on its own research. Still laboring under lesser minds, dear, Callisteg says. I've never understood how you put up with it. It's quite simple, Salamari says with brittle humor. They pay, and that helps a great deal. Will you be staying with us for long this time? I think not, Callisteg says. Busy times ahead, I'm afraid. Alright, goodbye. So we need to go back to the ruins, to the reef, and go into the thing we couldn't go into before. Oh man, he must be the one she was talking about taking care of spies. Well, we talk to these people later. Let's go back to the reef for now. Well, we had a bit of a crash, friends, and I'm back to where I saved right before freeing Riss. So that is another thing that you can generally expect from betas, is a little bit of instability. So what I'm going to do is call this video here for now, play myself back to the point where we were, and we'll pick up there in the next video. I hope you've enjoyed this playthrough of Torment Tides of Numenera. If you have, please leave a like below, it really does help. And consider subscribing to the channel so you can be notified of when I upload new content. But until next time, be excellent to each other.